Does conflict with the Santa pub crawl of Salt Lake City at the same time, so there might be some juggling to be done.
Yeah, you know, you little Sweet Caroline and then Sweet Caroling to go with it.
Well, I mean, do you think it's okay to wear a Santa suit to a Neil Diamond concert?
Absolutely.
Is that kosher, as it were?
I don't think he would have a problem with that. You know, Santa comes to America.
I'll bet you I can get on the screen. That's right. You can get on the screen at the Delphia Energy Solutions Arena.
That's right. So, you know, let's talk a little bit about your nightlife blog and your nightlife column. Park City is going to play a big part in the magazine in the next issue. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we kind of did a breakdown to try to both break down the myths about drinking in Utah in general for a lot of the people who come into town from out of town during the holidays and thereafter. Sundance and all that, because of course when you leave here everyone thinks you just can't get a drink in the state at all, and we all know that's false. So we kind of break down the laws a little bit, and then we just list basically a lot of our favorite watering holes from the top of the state to the bottom all over the place, and of course Park City has a significant chunk of those bars.
It gets a whole separate chapter.
It has its whole thing. It has its own little space in the magazine, certainly. Because you guys have a little better laws than we have in Salt Lake City. In the capital, you can only have 2 private clubs in a city block. A little hard to walk around when those are some big blocks down there, too, if you haven't noticed. Up here in Park City, you can hop your way down like 10, 15 places in a night, depending on your constitution. And your
wallet, because you still do have to pay that private club membership if you try to hop down. I think folks are trying to do their best to fight that in the legislature. Even our own governor saying it might be time to make that change.
Yeah, and we quietly lobby,
Yes.
let's get rid of the private club rules, guys. But you still, in spite of that, can get a drink in Utah.
Yes,
so
very important. Now, do you have a favorite spot here in Park City?
Park City? Well, a lot of times my bars are dictated by what's going on at the bars because I'm going to see music or something else, rather than just going out and having drinks with friends or whatever. But I really like Oh Shucks, just because I'm a divey bar kind of guy, right? And so I really like that. I like the fact you can wander in at any time of day, and there'll be some people in there to shoot the breeze with, and I like
do
any
a shot
place you can throw peanuts on the floor, and yeah, I mean they told us they sell more whiskey than beer in that place, and any place like that is okay in my book. So, this is sort of that lull time of year when kind of waiting for the school to start back up, for colleges to start back up in January. Sundance obviously brings in stuff all in a compacted couple of 10 days there in terms of music and party scenes, so that's coming fast. It'll be here in no time, right?
All right. Well, Jeremy, let's talk about some of the other things that are going on. We mentioned that Dan has the Nightlife blog. There's a whole lot of blogs that you guys are now producing.
Yeah, I mean,
even more than things that are typically in the magazine.
Yeah. I mean, our coverage on our website is sort of beyond the scope of the magazine, and we're doing. I mean, everybody's blogging nowadays, but we've got some of the best experts in the state in food, nightlife, and fashion who are contributing daily content. And they're little things sometimes, just like a great place to get a cool sweater, or a great place to get a good cup of coffee, or restaurant reviews of that new little restaurant that's opening and things like that. And then also, we'll have special web-only exclusives out of this for each as every issue comes out. So like maps and things like that, to lead you through our guide to getting a drink in Utah and all that sort of stuff. Good things that
maybe you can pull up on your iPhone as you're walking around.
Exactly.
And, if you're visiting.
And you can do that right now with our dining guide. Each of the, when you click on a restaurant on our dining guide, it pulls up a Google map, and if you've got an iPhone or another BlackBerry type thing, you can just double tap that, and it comes comes right there on your map, and you can find your way directly there. So
fantastic. I mean, I think I think the restaurant business in particular has been a great beneficiary of smartphone technology. So let's talk a little bit about some of what else is in the upcoming issue. I think we have a look at the cover for the next issue.
Right. We put a member of the U.S. ski team when I was here last. We went behind the scenes of our fashion shoot. We had the U.S. women's aerials team, 4 members of that. We went up to Deer Valley and did a fashion shoot. So we put young Lacey on the cover. I told Julianne from the ski team to cover your ears before you hand her this magazine because she's going to scream, So we had that, and then we also have because we're promoting all this, have a advice to keep the doctor away for the New Year. It's kind of a New Year's resolution type thing. We've got 5 of the top specialists in their field, cardiologists, orthopedists, and we have their advice for keeping you out of their waiting rooms, basically. So,
is there anything involving apples?
I think there's some good basic, eat a green thing every day kind of thing in there too. Right. So,
well, we are loading up a stock of Airborne, Emergency, and Purell for when Sundance comes to town, because there's just too many people in here who've traveled from too many places. Yes, exactly. Too many airplanes, and then too many handshakes. That you don't want to trust those New York and LA
right.
germs. They tend to do pretty well right here in this nice dry climate.
Those germs kill our germs.
Yeah. So we talked about the fashion shoot, and again, you can actually see that behind the scenes video either on your website or on our website, of course, parkcity.tv. You can scroll through our video list there and find that USSA Salt Lake Magazine fashion shoot video. But so we talked a little about fashion, talked a little about drinking in Utah. What else is coming up in the magazine?
Well, our outdoor section and our city view section takes us up north. We're kind of focusing a little on Ogden. Ogden's been getting a lot of press lately about its kind of revival, its comeback. So we have a story kind of examining if that's really a comeback or if it's just kind of hype or whatever. We did find that, Ogden is really kind of on the map with Outside Magazine and is really making some really great basic changes that are going to kind of bring that city back into the forefront.
We know about the ski industry hub, Descent and Good and Solomon and whatnot, but is there also new nightlife, Dan, up in Ogden?
That will follow.
Yeah.
If there's a block that can match Park City's Main Street, it might be Ogden's 25th Street, at least in terms of bouncing around, getting a historical bar here, a little newer place there. I mean, the Wise Guys Comedy Cafes that started in West Valley, they basically kind of migrated up to Ogden and are on 25th Street in this amazing historic building. It's definitely worth a trip up there. You can take the front runner now from Salt Lake and go up and hang out. There's some good restaurants. There's some good bars.
How late does the front runner run? Can you get back after?
You can come back. I think up to like 10 or 11, right in that neck of the woods. So you can't close a bar by any means, but you can also spend the night in Ogden.
Yeah, you can.
Well worth it. Or go up early and start early.
Yeah.
You can certainly find some people at Angelo's and some other places up there early in the morning, maybe.
And one of the things that I've noticed, doing this show is we get an awful lot of bands that are from the Ogden area.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where I went to high school, and there were always local bands up there, and all of us would always travel down to Salt Lake to see stuff. We'd come to Park City and see stuff back when they do them on the mountainside. So it's got a thriving little community there. There's good live music to be had up there. There's also bad live music to be had there, just like everywhere else. But you can find anything in Ogden. It didn't used to be that way when I went there. I mean, you wouldn't get a hip-hop show and then a Kiss tribute band and then some cool blues guy 3 nights in a row in Ogden back, 20 years ago. But it's stepped up a little, like the rest of it.
Yeah. And you mentioned that yes, Outside Magazine named it one of the top outdoor cities, and one of the great reasons of that is Snow Basin.
Snow Basin and Powder Mountain up Ogden Canyon. They're both excellent ski hills, and the reason Snow Basin. And one of the features in our magazine is we have a guide to Snow Basin's backcountry. It's by far some of the easiest accessible backcountry in Utah. I mean, it's backcountry you can get to off the lift. It's still out of bounds, but I mean, it's been in Warren Miller films for years, and now people are discovering it for themselves.
I've been trying to go and do a story on their backcountry for the last couple of years, in part because now they actually offer guided backcountry tours up at Snow Basin. Last year was a problem because they had too much snow and there was avalanche dangers.
Right.
And the year before, it was a problem because we didn't have, we had such sketchy snow. I couldn't get up and do that. So hopefully this year, I'm
gonna go backcountry with camera in hand.
Of course. Well, down. I don't. Yeah. I don't take the camera. Okay. Guys like Mickey, strap on the snowboard and bring the camera.
Bolt it to their helmet.
Yeah, exactly. And I just hope not to kill myself. That's the goal of that.
Well, read our article. It'll tell you the how-tos and the danger zones.
I am eagerly awaiting it. And when does this new issue hit?
We should be getting out to subscribers last week in December, and it'll be officially on newsstands January 1st.